You don't say to mama, you don't read, oh. Says the tracking angel. It don't bust to mama, it don't cut. Now chain you the cut. Okay, now make I use my microscope, scan a reality scan, nigga area biafra phobia mentality. See, set mazin nam the canu free. One war. They don't want to hear the name of Biafra. For them is a scary name of Biafra. I love this very name of Biafra. Biafra, most I judge a bless Biafra. Chukwu Kika Biama bless. Conscientiousness bless Biafra. Started in 1804 by Uthman Danfodio. Rinom go build to Sokoto. Boo, Sa Amadou Bello. They massacred the Hausa, Marui and Pura. What about the Shua? Zamfara and Adamawa. Referendum is the voice of everyone. Real freedom, Yahweh must be done on the land. Simon, they don't want to hear the name of Biafra. For them is a scary name of Biafra. I love this very name of Biafra. Mosai Jaja bless Biafra. Chukwu Kika Biama bless. Conscientiousness bless Biafra. They tried by the canories. These reckless foolanies. They conquered the Lorraine. Fooling. They killing in Benue every day. Niger State and Plateau State. The whole of Middle Belt State every day. Our move, don't do. Say we move, but now we move. They don't want to hear the name of Biafra. For them is a scary name of Biafra. I love this very name of Biafra. Most I Jaja bless Biafra. Chukwu Kika Biama bless Biafra. Conscientiousness bless Biafra. We know that they are the terrorists. Like the man called Shegumi, terrorist. Gabe Sheva Dixinabemi, terrorist. Isa Ali Ibrahim Batami, terrorist. Boko Haram in the army, terrorist. They stop the people from farming, terrorist. Abu Bakr Malami, terrorist. Mainstream media swami, terrorist. Now we have more sellers than buyers. Information minister liar. Mr. like Mohammed and liar. The truth is Biafra's fire. They don't want to hear the name of Biafra. For them is a scary name of Biafra. I love this very name of Biafra. Most I Jaja bless. Chukwu Kika Biama bless. Conscientiousness bless Biafra. They can come into Biafra land, run them out of do the wall and one them and run them out now. Yeah. Divided nations, decent, playing their bloody games against Biafra with the AU all the same. What a shame, such a pain. Nnamdi Kanu says Biafra, he comes away Biafra. Black people worldwide say Biafra, Marcus Garvey way. Biafra.
Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Greetings in the name of Chukwu Okika Biama Porimi Henile. My name is Raphael Chiamaka Jere. I am the Acting Minister of Information, Biafra Republic Government in Exile. This message, please, we must share, as it is important we keep this awareness going. Very, very viral, very, very important. If you share it, you're passing a message. If you don't share it, you're not hurting me. You're just deliberately refusing to pass a message across, especially those of you that are on the propaganda trail that is bent on, destroying the freedom, which you will not succeed. The only thing that will happen is that you will lose at the end of it all. So those that know that we have a priority, and the priority is to get the world attention, to focus on Nigeria right now, to show the world, the leaders of the free world, that the genocide going on in Nigeria, they must not, give it a deaf ear or a blind eye. They must look into it and they must act, and they need to act very, very fast. All the news in the world are reporting the genocide going on in Nigeria, and the heat must be on. And as much as we can, anyone that knows how to tag the president of the global president, President Donald J. Trump, everyone that knows how to tag President Vladimir Putin, everyone that knows how to tag the important people in this world, tag them to the genocide going on in Nigeria. Over 100 million Christians are facing existential threats. Over 100 million. And the target is to make sure they are exterminated, to make sure they are completely annihilated, because the Islamic fanatics want to establish their reign in Nigeria. And the leaders of Nigeria are so evil that they are covering up for this wickedness. Thank God that one of the most important and powerful news station in the United Kingdom, the creators of Nigeria, are now also exposing Nigeria. I have a news from Sky News. Credit to them for this report. From Sky News. I have a news from CBN. We have news from all over the world. And I also had a post I reposted today. One of the powerful senators in America have gone direct to Donald Trump to tell him that he must look into the genocide going on in Nigeria. Senator Ted Cruz has also written to Donald J. Trump to act, and act very fast. And there's one recommendation I must give, which is very, very important. Anyone that wants to come and save and help Christians in Nigeria, for you to have a very easy sail and a smooth ride to succeed, you must work with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a Christian Biafran leader, a Judeo-Christian Biafran leader, had promised the northern Christians that he will give them asylum at the coming of Biafra. He promised them that they have nothing to fear, because he knows that they are some of them are targeted minorities in the north. And he promised them that he will give them asylum. And he vowed with his life that he will make sure that nothing happens to the Christians that are from the north. And because this terrorist in the north knows very well that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, once he says a word, he will do it. They are holding him. They kidnapped him from Kenya. They are still holding him from that 2021 kidnap up to today. Before I bring the message of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I want you to listen to Sky News from the UK that are reporting today what is happening in Nigeria. And they are actually calling Nigerian government. They said Nigerian government are speaking nonsense. They use the word nonsense. They said Nigerian government are speaking nonsense. Look at it. I'm not the one that said it. They said Nigerian government are speaking nonsense. That's the title of this movie, of this news from Sky News. You know, if you go to Sky News, you will see the topic, Nigerian leaders, Nigerian government, look at it even up here, you will see it. Nigerian government speaking nonsense by covering up the real number of Christian slaughters. I want you to listen to this. It's a very short video. Let's hear it.
There are reports, one by Nigeria-based human rights NGO International Society for Civil Liberties and the Rule of Law Inter-Society, found that there's an average of more than 30 Christians in Nigeria being killed every single day. More than 7,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria this year. Yet Nigeria has pushed back against reports such as those. Its Ministry of Foreign Affairs saying earlier that this year that there's plenty of misinformation and misleading reports regarding the supposed targeted killings of Christians. Can I get your response to that?
Yeah, the government's speaking nonsense and hoping the world doesn't pay attention. Nigeria today is an epicenter of Christian martyrdom. Since the year 2000, more than 60,000 Christians have been murdered by Islamist groups like Boko Haram, heavily armed Fulani militia. Our organisation's 2023 report I mentioned places Nigeria firmly in the red category, meaning it's persecution, it's not just discrimination. You know, what makes Nigeria unique is that Christians are not even a tiny minority. They make up almost half the population, 100 million people, yet they live as if they're second-class citizens, especially in the north.
Are you hearing that? Christians are not in the minority. They are over 100 million. And these 100 million people are facing existential threats if the world leaders do not act very fast. If Donald J. Trump do not respond very fast. If possible, boots may be needed on the ground. They need to act very fast because these slaughters are not going to cease in the near future. If they do not act to help and support, look at how Vladimir Putin supported Ibrahim Traore to put an end to that onslaught, even though they are still fighting it, but at least the government in Burkina Faso is stable now, and they are well more powerful than these demons, and they are stopping them. Nigerian Christians are well over 100 million. I want you to listen to this. I want to repeat it again. Please hear this. Very, very important.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs saying earlier that this year that there's plenty of misinformation and misleading reports regarding the supposed targeted killings of Christians. Can I get your response to that?
Yeah, the government's speaking nonsense and hoping the world doesn't pay attention. Nigeria today is an epicenter of Christian martyrdom. Since the year 2000, more than 60,000 Christians have been murdered by Islamist groups like Boko Haram, heavily armed Fulani militia. Our organisation's 2023 report I mentioned places Nigeria firmly in the red category, meaning it's persecution, it's not just discrimination. You know, what makes Nigeria unique is that Christians are not even a tiny minority. They make up almost half the population, 100 million people, yet they live as if they're second-class citizens, especially in the north. The Nigerian government's failed to take any meaningful action to prevent attacks, and the violence is relentless. In Benue State alone, one diocese recorded 93 villages attacked, 330 farmers killed in just a year. This past June, a couple months ago, another attack in Benue. A gunman raided a town, killed 100 people, forced 4,000 to leave. And it's not just killings, Gabriella. We're speaking of abductions, burned villages, destruction of churches, millions forced into camps where they lack even the basics. And every single day, Nigerian Christians wake up to the fresh news of kidnappings or attacks. It's not sporadic, it's systematic, it's targeted, it's gone on for decades with little accountability.
Absolutely horrific. Can you talk to us about how the aid to the church?
It has gone on for decades with little accountability. They are not accounting for the lives that have been lost in Nigeria. Christian lives have been lost as if they are nothing in Nigeria. Okay.
To need supports the suffering, oppressed and persecuted Christians?
Yeah, sure. Look, for 80 years, the work of HCN has been to keep the faith alive, as we say, in those places where it's under greatest assault through persecution, oppression, poverty. We're not humanitarian or a development agency. We're what's called a pastoral agency. Our work is to sustain the faith directly. So we build, or in the case of Africa, rebuild churches often, sustain poor nuns, priests, provide them with means of transport. In all, we undertake about 6,000 projects a year, completely funded by, in our case, Catholics around the world, no funding from church or state. But the work we do for the suffering churches, we call it, inspires and brings back life to us. I think our founder used to say, they're being tested in faith and we're being tested in love. And the resilience of the Nigerian church to just keep on that is incredible. The daily threats, the priests and sisters traveling to remote villages at risk of their lives. We have had to do things that no spiritual trade ever thought it would do. We built high fences around seminaries. We provide enclosed vehicles. We fund trauma healing. So this persecution, from what we see it deepens faith. And the church in Nigeria is young and vibrant. Attendance is high. And the blood of the martyrs remains the seed of Christians, the same in Nigeria as it has been right throughout the history.
Bernard, before I let you go, I just want to ask you about what's happening in the US. We're seeing more attacks, certainly targeting churches in the United States. Those attacks have increased significantly in recent years, according to a report, and of course that horrific shooting at a Minnesota Catholic school.
Okay, they are now talking about the US churches that, I thank God that US is taking care of their own very, very strongly. We are creating awareness from this end of the divide. Now, I want to bring you another news from this time around from CBN. Where is my news? Okay, this one. Okay, yes, I have this.
In the African nation of Nigeria, millions of Christians In the African nation of Nigeria, millions of Christians are persecuted by Islamic terror groups. The Nigerian government is doing very little to stop the attacks. Well, now religious freedom advocates, including one member of the U.S. Congress, are taking action. CBN's Kelly Wright has this look at the crisis.
On this very day, 210 persons were slaughtered in one night, in less than 24 hours.
The video from the Father's Day massacre includes graphic images of people being burned alive, families attacked, and homes destroyed in Yelawata, Nigeria.
That very day, it was raining, so Fulani herdsmen, they invaded the community and claimed so many lives.
Around 12 midnight, we started having calls from Yelawata that the Fulanis have come and they are killing, burning.
Friday night, I was sleeping in my house. See my house there. I come here, they shoot gun. Later, they come, they break this house. Where my brother, my brother is sleeping here with his children. Thereby, they come, they kill people. They were breaking the house. Say, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar.
These first-hand accounts gathered by Truth Nigeria journalists describe the ongoing atrocities in a terror campaign to eradicate Nigeria's Christians. Judd Saul, filmmaker and missionary, the organizer of Equipping the Persecuted, highlighted this documentary as a way to sound the alarm.
We need to fight this thing threefold. One, America as a government needs to get involved with a very little. I'm talking very little.
America as a government needs to get involved. America as a government needs to get involved. Very, very important.
Of our resources, if we just did the very little bit of push an aggressive foreign policy, throw some sanctions, whatever it takes, I think we can put a significant dent in this and put a stop to this.
U.S. Representative Chris Smith of New Jersey, who has traveled to many dangerous areas in Nigeria, has introduced a resolution in Congress to help stop attacks fueled by religious hatred.
There has been an exponential increase in attacks on Christians and some Muslims, but Christians in particular. Protestants, evangelicals, Catholics, they're firebombing their churches. The Fulani are killing them with absolute impunity. We've called on the government in Abuja and the president several times to do what governments do, law enforcement. Use the military if you have to, but stop this genocide and do it now.
The resolution points to Nigeria's government's apparent open border policy that allows almost free access to the country.
You see that?
Fulani militants and ISIS-linked extremist groups from neighboring countries take advantage of this policy to carry out.
You see that open border policy, open border, allowing these terrorists to come in at will and do anything they want to do. Open border. They open their borders for these terrorists.
Mass murder, rape, and kidnappings.
We're also calling on President Trump to reissue, which he did in his first term, the designation of country of particular concern. And that then gives the president wide latitude to impose sanctions. It's an excellent bill when it's used properly. It gets the attention of all the policymakers, in this case in Abuja. It says, we're not kidding.
During a White House press briefing, I asked Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt about the crisis in Nigeria. And do you know if there's any action that the president will take?
I'm not tracking a call between the president and the head of Nigeria. I know the president wholeheartedly condemns the persecution of Christians or, frankly, of people of any faith all over the world, but I don't have any updates for you in terms of sanctions in this part of the world.
Looking beyond any government response, Judd Saul is calling on the church and Christians in America to stand with the persecuted in Nigeria.
They need to pray. They need to be a voice for the voiceless. They need to be a voice for our persecuted brothers and sisters.
Kelly Wright, CBN News.
Okay.
Well, whatever pressure we can put on the Nigerian government, we need to put it on the Nigerian government. They're the one responsible for the safety of their own citizens. And
Thank you very much, Robinson. Thank you. That is the son of Pat Robinson, the owners of CBN News. I am going to quickly play for you Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's message. I will conclude with that. The promise he made to the North. And he's a man of his own word. Because they know this, that's why they are holding him. Come on, listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's promise. Do I have it here? Let me see. Okay, I do. Okay, very quickly.
He's from Sokoto, he's a minority. He's from Sokoto, he's a minority. So he thinks that he's from Sokoto, he's a minority. So he thinks that when Nigeria breaks up, Fulani will swallow them alive. But I want to tell him that we are all students of history. There is a group of, or there were a group of people called the Huguenots from France during the height of Reformation. They were being persecuted by the French authorities who were Catholic. People don't know that Roman Catholic fought with Anglican Church, and people don't know this, but that's life. You know what happened? Britain, being a Protestant nation, offered amnesty or struck a deal with France to say, give me all your Protestants. We'll absorb them. They're called the Huguenots. And they came into Britain. That is where the lives of Sir Peter de la Billière. De la Billière is a French name, but his family settled in England. He rose to become a general and led the war in the Desert Storm. It was him that commanded the British forces in Desert Storm. His ancestors were French, the Huguenots. So what I'm saying to Bishop Coker and all northern Christian minorities today is this: on my honor and on my life, I swear before God Almighty in heaven,
he swore
that with the coming of Biafra, every Christian northerner will be allowed to settle in Biafra land.
Pumpkin.
So you see, Bishop Coker, you have nothing to be afraid of. You have a place where you can practice your faith without looking over your shoulder all the time, thinking who's coming to kill me. You will come to Biafra land and you will live there a very peaceful, fulfilled life in Biafra land. The same thing that the English did for the French Protestants, they're called the Huguenots. The same thing we are going to do for you. If you feel that you're threatened and the Sharia call north, and because of that, you think that having the East and the West in one Nigeria will save you, as if some kind of insurance against elimination by the crazy, mad Fulani Janjaweed, you will come to Biafra land. We will give you asylum. You will stay there. Your generations will live and thrive. We are accommodating people. We welcome visitors. Then you will see
back in a minute
what Biafra is like in real life, not the miserable existence you have in Sokoto. You want to stay in a country where people are threatening your life because you spoke. You said your mind and they're threatening you. What I'm offering you is what happened in England, though. The same England telling you to talk about one Nigeria. There was a time that the lives of French Protestants were under threat in France. England said, give them to us, we will take them. They were all sent to England. They are called the Huguenots. We offer you the same asylum today.
Did you hear that? Did anybody hear that? We will make a program with this, maybe in the evening, to open our mic, to invite people to talk. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have promised you, if what you are afraid of, people like Bishop Coker, who is still supporting one Nigeria, supporting Fulani, and their people are dying on daily basis. If what you're afraid of is that, where will you hide? By hiding with Fulani, you think one Nigeria will save you? No. Biafra land will give you succor, just like England gave to the Huguenots. You know, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a historian, a proper historian who knows what he's doing, who knows his onions. Look, that's why I say President Donald J. Trump and anyone that wants to help in this situation, you need Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You need him. He's the only one that will tell you the truth. He's the only one you can work with integrity to save Christians in Nigeria. He's the only one. And you know what is happening to him right now? The same persecution is what is holding him. So you need to fight for him to be free, because justifiably he must be free, and then he will assist you to save Christians in Nigeria. I'll leave it here until I'm back in the evening. Thank you for joining me. Please share this video and let it go viral. Airborne. I am Vam Vam Vam. Day one.